Hi, I'm Nate. Welcome to Homesteader Nate. The video that you guys just watched about brush hogging was 3 weeks ago. While that happened, I mowed this yard. Now this may not look like much of a yard, but this is our backyard. And this is only 3 weeks worth of growth. I can't believe it either. It has been raining nearly every day, and this yard is growing like crazy. We've had some pretty good storms roll through here, knock some tree limbs down. We got to clean a bunch of stuff up. So today, we're gonna mow this yard and get these tree limbs cleaned up out of the yard. We're gonna attack this first with a brush hog, and then we're gonna switch over to a riding lawnmower. Now, I just got a lawnmower yesterday, bought it from somebody off of Facebook Marketplace, got it for a steal. It's not very big, just a 42-inch cut, but that's really all we need. So let's get rolling on this, get it knocked out today. All right, so we got the initial mow done with the brush hog. Just knocked down the stuff that was waist high for the most part. So introducing the Homesteader's newest piece of equipment here. This is a John Deere LA105. I bought it fairly cheap off of Marketplace. It's been well maintained. The guy had all the paperwork from everything, so you know it's been taken care of. It's a little rusty in some spots, but what do you expect? It's, like 13 years old, 14, something like that. It's a pretty old mower. 42-inch cut, everything works on it. The brakes were a little iffy, but I just adjusted them. That was pretty simple. All I had to do was tighten one nut up and we got brakes again. So anyway, I'm gonna hop on this thing, start mowing all this junk, get this knocked out. We still got to take care of these tree limbs that are down. We got some out here that fall down. There's one right behind you guys over here that got knocked out. There's some out there by the road. I guess we had pretty good storm. There was a tornado, I guess just a couple miles down the road here, knocked down a bunch of trees, and here I guess we kind of got the residual from it. I don't know the whole story. I wasn't here. I was in California when it happened. So, but anyway, let's get this taken care of. All right, so we got the yard taken care of with the exception of some weed eating. We'll do that here in a little while. Now, I want to get started on these trees right here. These are some of the limbs that blew out. These are a couple of them. The rest of them are actually on the ground, but these are still kind of held up in the tree. So I'm gonna take the tractor, drive it around here, lift the front end loader up, and see if I can't push them the rest of the way out instead of sitting here and cutting it. If that doesn't work, I guess we'll try the pole saw, but we might be able to push them out. Let's give it a shot. everybody, I think that's pretty much going to wrap this video up. We got the yard mowed, weed eated, got that big tree limb cut down. Now I just got to get this stuff put up. We're leaving for Ohio in the morning, so got a long drive ahead of us. Then I'm sure whenever I come back, whenever that is, we're gonna have to go through this all over again. But anyway, owning property is a lot of work. Anybody that owns any land knows that, but it just seems like it's even more work whenever you're not there to take care of it regularly, you know, because you come home and just like this, it's an absolute nightmare. You know, you got tree limbs that are down and a yard that you got to brush hog before you can even mow it. And anyway, but one of these days it'll all be worth it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. I'd be honored if you'd like, comment, subscribe. I don't know when it'll be again, but we'll catch you on the next one.